Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Biological Economics, Applied Mathematics framework with OBNXS derivative tracing system. Um, if we go to github.com/obnxs and the OBNXS GitHub Gitbook page, Git page, you should be seeing this all this there. The OBNXS repository on github.com/O for Oscar, B for Bravo, I for Indigo, N for November, E for Echo, X for X-ray, E for Umbrella, S for Sarah. Um, yes. Biological economics. Applied biologics was a framework of ODTS. So, before I start, this is my presentation of economics. But as just state, economics is just the amount of money, the managers of money. If you're an economic person, you're doing calculus and everything. This my one was called biological economics. It's more sustainable than the economic structure of the topic. But money it's how I define it. It's really applied mathematics, which is physics of money, the dynamics of money, of banks, of ecosystems, and shares. But this is my implementation based on the ODTS framework, which stands for Derivative Tracing System. Okay, foundation. We're going to talk about the foundation, the ODTS framework, the scalar vector model, and the constitution. Let's begin. Uh, okay. Introduction to introduction context. Foundation. Okay. Biological economics, the living mathematics. Okay, so let me just put in an analogy. So let me just read it. Biological economics integrates principles of biology and economics to create a sustainable system. Very system. It's an ecosystem of services of people. We just that pushes the economics activities support human survival. Human survival is essential, and prosperity, happiness, fulfillment, enjoyment, prosperity, things you want to achieve, you get it done by adhering to biological imperatives. The same equivalent to this. How how you guys gonna have to understand this because you're gonna move around, working on this uh, too. The constitutional frameworks. Now I'm gonna talk about this basically this the biological. We're gonna talk about the unit model, the vector model, and the scalar model, which is called unit model. Um, but there's more accurate to call it the scalar model, the vector model, and the cyclic graph model. The constitutional framework where you live and you work. But I done survival through mathematical verification, and the ODTS provide, detecting, and show biological. Let me just turn on my slides for a second. Provide detecting systems that limit before ensuring basically this is the worst case. This for worst case analysis, based on a resource like money over time, how much you need to buy a house, 2 years to buy a house, I just put in, you know. The goal of this, I'm gonna start with this. I'm gonna start reading from my paper. But this is just what this is. So this one's here. The constitutional framework. I'm gonna put red to green, black to green. But this one here, it's green and everything. This is not a pen I need. But this is the red pointer. It's gonna be really nice, but it's not a pen. It's a pointer. So it's not a pen. The constitutional framework. You live there, you work there. You work there, you live there. Okay, let's go. Fundamental survival equation. Okay. Basically, let's just look at example scenario first. Let's now get back into the big economics. Uh, an established for if an individual earns £15 and has an essential cost of £10, the survival reserve is £5, indicating a healthy economic state aligned with the biological need. You see what I'm saying? So if I buy a house, £10, just £10 a house. Someone give me a house, £10, I buy a house, and the survival need is £5. I just need to eat, sleep, food. If I want to use the toilet in my house, I can use the toilet. If I want to cook in my house, I can cook it. But I just buy the house. Oh wait, yes. If I buy a house with all the essentials, the food, water, shelter, and the house, you get the whole house, £10. The survival is £5, indicating a healthy economy of the biological world. I can do other things. I don't have to worry about money every time. I don't have to run about like a madman. I don't have to do ABC wrong. I don't have to waste time. So basically, this is a fundamental equation. The core biology imperative is represented by the equation work equal minus essential cost equals survival reserve. The reserve where you're gonna put in your bank account. all the things you want to do is survival reserve. The equation shows that the income covers the social costs, maintaining a positive survival reserve. Okay, go this second time. Biological first principle. Okay. But let's not go back. Let me just explain this now. Go this here. Organisms consume energy to survive, and energy expedition must not exceed the energy acquisition. This principle is on the basis of biology. Economics ensures sustainable economic systems. Okay, guys, take it from me. I got it here for you guys, but I haven't got it. I have to take off the thing now. But I got it here. I'm going to take a picture and put it there. But I can't show you guys because my camera's off on my background as well. It's going to be distracted from my background. Okay, I'm going to say what I'm saying here. So, in the worst case scenario, for every animal, we order, as you go up the food chain, you only reserve 10% of the entire 90% of the energy system. Because for example, let me give you if a worm eats dirt or eats a bacteria, that worm eats everything, and then a prey is a prey, and that bird, and then a bird, then or caterpillar, then or something, a caterpillar or a worm get eaten by an insect. So a worm eats an insect, 10% energy only into its own system to survive. That insect, that worm or a caterpillar or worm, it gets eaten by a bird, like a single bird, a bird that's singing everything. What I don't, Tweety bird, I don't know something. That bird, then that's 10%. All the 98% rest in energy facing trying to find a classic bed. Then go rat. Then that more rat, 10%. The bird eats a rat eats a bird. A bird. The worm gets eaten by a rat. The rat gets eaten by a bird, and the bird gets eaten by a snake, and the snake gets eaten by an eagle, and the eagle gets eaten by a viper. Until you get to the top of the food chain, us. We eat anything really. But I'm saying to you guys that 10% of the energy transition propagates down, no more than 10%. Do the math. Ask the biologist. Don't ask me if you're not sure. Just confirm my work. No, 90% of the energy is wasted going to catch the food, going to sleep, going to find other things. Yeah. This is core principles of biological economics. Why biology precedes economics? Second principle, system collapse. Essential systems that violate the biology rules are prone to collapse. By aligning economics with biology, we present such failures and ensure long-term stability. You guys don't want to crush the economy. It's like flipping a 1 to a 0 in a computer system. It just turns it off and no one can find the shares anything because you flip the whole thing. It's not fault tolerant. You just basically I'm saying to you, if one more thing, if I have one economy stream only of shares and stocks and everything, and everyone uses that stuff, and so you just flip it off, like hack it, and it goes off up, everyone loses their money. The system will crash. No one will be able to get services because the shares affect everyone. It's centralized. So basically, if you have like two nodes and one switch off and the other one's still working, can everyone use the other one while they fix the other one, and so forth and so on. Because you need an attack vector to do such a thing. But that's what I'm saying. We'll come on to that. But that's a fraudulent failsafe system, which I get onto. Another analogy I'll give you guys. System aligns with economic values. Biology longer stability, long-term stability by aligning economic. Because the long-term stability is people's houses. People don't want to lose their home. 1 year, 1 to 3 year. Basically, 1 year you buy a house, you can update that to 2 years to 4 years, and if you buy a 3 years house, you get 6 years and 9 years. If you buy a 5 years house, that means you're doing a PhD. There's only 5 years of PhD. So your life is 5 years. 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, you get a house. You want the long term, most likely you can renew your contract any year. So you see, if you violate that, you're never to use it. Now, human economics must adhere to biology reality. By recognizing this, we design systems that support human well-being and avoid pitfalls for of extractive economics. Extractive, just money. Just buy it. You need it to get money. You buy it. It's about sustainability. So I already have it. I need to buy it again. I already have a PS5. I need to buy a PS5 again. I already have an Xbox. I need to buy an Xbox again. I already have a game PlayStation. I need to buy a PlayStation again. I already have a house. I don't need to buy a house again. That's human economics. Sustainable practices. Implementing viable resource prone do not deplete resources. Supporting current and future generations. People who want to build on top of what's already there. The future is now, by the way. Because you should be building now. Or being access, sustainability. So you're building things that are already building future-proof stuff, fixing the stuff that we already have. In-depth analysis, just the principles. But these are what you should be really focusing on for now. Let's continue with the slides. The current system of failure. Current economics often extracts more resources than provide, leading to negative survival results. For example, an income of 15 pounds with a cost of 20 results in a -5 survival reserve, causing stress and potential collapse. Very stressful. Money is everything in this country, the UK. I'm not even joking. You gotta get money to do everything. It's like sickening to me sometimes. But let me give you another example. So basically, this is not really complete. But say I go to TFL and I go from a journey from here to Canning Town, and I want to come back. My journey is £10. £10, and I get £10 exactly. And then I go. My journey is £5 each. So I go from here to Canning Town in Newham, and I try to come back £5. I come back, yes. But then I spend for food the whole day. I buy lunch because I need to eat. I eat breakfast here, then I buy lunch. Lunch is let's say lunch is £1. £1. Then I have £4 left instead of £5, of the train back. And now I have a problem. I cannot get back from here. I need an extra pound to come back. This is the current why it fails. The Oyster card would not be able to tap me out. If it's just an Oyster, I used to get there and back. You know what I'm saying? But because I didn't put it in my Oyster, it was for my Oyster, first of all. Now I put it on my Oyster, still go, I don't come back. Now that's called a fragile system. It's broken. The system is broken. It stops you. But then in the worst case scenario, I'm prone to police search because I'm autistic, ADHD, Asperger's. I can get angry, I can get agitated. It's just a simple money issue. I can get stressed, and people can define me. Define TFL fine of £20, 20 pounds, £100. No, £80 fine is TFL. It's just £80 fine, which is TFL. But that means I get all that is £85. But instead of paying back the money, I get fined to warn me, and the next time I get cautioned or police intervenes. But the fine is really the caution. There's no second caution. You only get 2 attempts, the fine and the police. You get a police record. Now you're a criminal. But that's what I'm saying. The system is fucked up. The whole thing I see, it's all fragmented. It's all in fragments, and you have to navigate it very carefully. An example is like that's why opening sector models must never be abused. We have to have everything in sectors like design and technology. Design helps technology helps design. Because technology just computer stuff, but with the design tells people the technology, the button, the layout, everything, what to do. So people that are not programmers will know what to do with it. The design part of the computer architecture looks nice, beautiful, business stability principles. The directorate symbology of vision, a pad, keypad, keyboard, everything. Health and social care sector for life. That's what's called a sector. It works forever. It's not because it works forever. It's because it works forever. It's because it works forever. It's sustainable. That's why it works. Because it's not because it works forever. It's for life because it proves its sustainability based on how it is. But the TFL issue doesn't have sustainability because you have a civil officer at TFL, but they don't do with people that are stressed, angry, neurodivergent. Those people are called criminals. And when they harm people, it's a misinterpretation of a person's being. It's not because they're being deceptive, it's because they're being disregarded as a problem, and they're being it's not because they're deceptive. They're not deceptive at all. They are there's some trust to this is a word for the big word with D. I wrote it down here. But it's not deceptive in any way, shape, or form. It's because the system is fragmented and they can't see the the reality of that individual that struggling navigate the B, A, B, C. They can't see the difference. The difference. They think they're in defiance, but they don't understand that they're trying to defend themselves. Of course, the difference. Because they're neurodivergent, the way they're acting, the way they're showing themselves, the way they represent themselves. Yes. Yes. Police transit. Yes, I've talked about that. Numbing model, vector model. Basically, that's the unit model. The unit model. I'll come to the, let's go to the next slide because it's gonna get bored. The slide. So this is the solution. The OB says a unit model. Basically, the money is a unit. That's like the temp. If you have £10, it's not a vector. It's just a unit. Whether £10 goes from A to B, that's the unit. It's gonna get you from A to B. And back. That's the DAG unit. But it's fragmented. So you're gonna work for the worst case. You're gonna have some more money to sustain yourself. Who's traveling? You know, Open Access provides a constitution guarantee ensuring housing costs do not exceed the annual cost of hostel stays, and maintain a minimum survival threshold for all individual. Basically, this one means, if I pay for a hostel, if I pay for a hostel, £10, that should be equivalent for a year, because the house is a house, but I don't own it. The hostel is a house because I just pay for what I need the hostel for maybe a week or so. If I pay for a hostel for 1 year and it costs me £10, and I pay for a house 10 years, it should be equal because it's still the same thing I'm receiving, the same components, the same toilet. It's a house, yes, but it's a £10 house for a year. You know, it should never exceed the £10 house. Or it should be less than it if it's a house actually, because it's more sustainable. If it's under the type of house, it's like ownership. I own a house. I borrow a house. I'm lending a house. So am I the one actually using the house? I'm borrowing A. I'm using A. Who's the user of the service? Who's actually holding the accountable when there's something happen in the thing to pay? That's susceptible. That's the user contract. That's the person to solve their own problem, not the other way around. Okay. Because you agree, so mathematical question. The ODTS provide to guarantee, verify and guarantee the assure the economic system remains aligned with the biological imperatives, preventing constitutional violation. Constitutional violation, the misuse of property, especially people um, that live in roads, houses, like houses, but have houses, yes, but don't live in houses. They buy property but don't use it. So people that then go, it's an American problem, but people that then go use the properties are called squatters. But the squatters' right to have that property under the American mandate, but it's not being mandated even though using the property is good. But, the problem is that people that are not using the properties are just wasting economies resources, precious resources. Because people that want to buy it, use it, ownership, buy it, borrow it, or borrow it, buy it, borrow it, own it, and use it. Can't use it because it's not being used and it's not sustainable for them because you can't find it. That's one reason. Buy it, own it, and borrow it, buy it, and own it. Just like a temporary buyer, it's even good. That's what the problem is in America. But the system is meant to be biological imperative. Like, do I actually need to eat this food right now? Do I have to wait for the winter? Do I have to pack the acorns? If I wait for the winter, if I wait for the winter, I wait and then I eat the food. Then come out summertime, I'm fine. But if I eat it autumn time, summertime, I then get hungry near summertime and have to get up and work in the cold and it's not sustainable, etc. etc. Chapter 2. Okay, chapter 2. ODTS. This is the obedience restriction system. Now go to the vector math. This is one saying that the basically the vector model is basically money over time. Money over the time I want to borrow the item. The money over time is very precious. Do I want to borrow it for like 1 year? 1 year? Do I want to borrow it 1 year? Do I want to own it 1 year? Or do I want to lend it 1 year? But if I want to lend something, I want to give it to something. Someone to buy it, but to buy it or borrow it or own it, for 1 year, and they can give it back. Yes, but that should never exceed the cost. of the service of what I'm actually getting, what I'm meant to get, what everyone should be getting. If it's public, the full picture, the full service, not the fragmented pieces, the full, like the full house, the full kitchen, everything, the use of the select, the hostel problem, the hostel is a house, I'm telling you guys. This is just the obligatory system. Verify economics flow. It ensures economics aligns biological imperatives. If you go to github.com/ODTS this year, you should find it. You should see some mock examples of these problems, but not the financial ones. Yes, the financial one. I'm trying to put financial ones today. Bound computation. OBNSS provides bound computation with guaranteed termination, ensuring the solution to infinite loops and undefined states. But that's what the audit is. Basically the factor DAG. You can have like a scalar DAG, but the scalar is just the £10 what you're gonna use for that time. But its vector DAG is more powerful because it allows you to calculate the money you have at the current state. I'll call it dynamic. The vector model is dynamic, so money is the input. Money over time. Basically space of time over if you space time over time, but the worst case complexity of the measurement. For example, the space a computer program uses over the time it uses is not dynamic, but if it equals to some auxiliary computation. For example, log on over o1 is on. Over n is space of on because that's the Lagrange o1 time. Because this is if I have like a on squared o2n o to the power of n or n to the power of n, above n factorial. That's two, and let's say o to the power 2 to the power of n and o to the and then o to the power of n. And n divided by n is 2 n to the power of n. This will not cut it in half. This will be that will just take away 2 to the power of 1n. But that will not divide the 2 into 1 because it still be less than O of n. That will still be equals to O n higher because it'll be higher than O n, more than equal to O of n. And O of n is just linear time. And you're gonna make sure linear time complexity is bound, or logarithmic time depending on the complexity of the resolution is log n. Which is more of a protocol mitigation because if a system protocol is n complexity is linear, log n is half of linear time, so it cuts the problem in half. Based on the bidirectional principle, just half the problem. Merge sort, odd sorting just by divide and conquer or divide and merge. Basically, directed audit trail, exploiting economic integrity, critical audit rates, audit optimizes economic path, minimize costs, ensuring the resources used efficiently, long-term support. This is very important. Minimal cost part, that's the minimum one. The critical audits, and if you want to do a cryptography, a blockchain, bounded computation is bounded by that computation. It's not undivided state. Because undivided state means that something is wrong in the ODTS framework. Because infinite loops, you can check your work. It tells you. That's how the real system work. It tracks this, but not remember like DAG vector. So there's no undivided state. And the system will not crash itself on an undefined resolution time, meaning the accuracy is fragmented anyway. Let me say, let's introduce the ODTS. Let's go next. So basically, derivative 1 verifies income flow. Basically, this is D equals 1, this is the first derivative. Verifies equals flow, sustainable, you can use this to basically, the first derivative, imagine the first change of the system to cost of time, and that's to analyze the cost structure. But in each stage you can use the space-time analogy, the money over time, resources that you have at each interval to minimize the cost. Like if £1, if someone give me £1 to my for my oyster truck, I have £4, and I buy food when I get £1 extra. Someone I know send me a bank account. I can use it to pay. For the £5, I can come back to oyster because it's dynamic. It recalculates, and then I analyze cost function structures, identify which area of cost is optimized, ensuring essential expenses do not deplete survival reserve. You are the one needing it. This equals D to 1 equals 2, D equals 3. This is called derivative. This stands for derivative, and that's the ODTS. You can call it ODTS 1, but this is D for derivative. Assess the time modules represent and the curves. Derivatives are really one would get into multivariable calculus, which are derivatives of derivatives, but they're really fragmented. It's not really because they have multiple variable and they're related to derivatives. Because they have multiple variables, that's multi-variable calculus. But they have multiple variables, and you can derive multiple equations for the same solution. That's what's called multi-variable calculus. But you call it what's it called? There's two variables missing, your unknowns, and then you got a system of linear equations, direct resolution for complex system analysis. Communist function. The occurrence of function at work equals house and survival requires is analyzed by an ODTS income expense. Basically, but you survive. This is the most important. You survive, your money doesn't work. You get your money back anytime. But this can be traced mathematically. I'm saying, my example, d equals 1 is the increased survival one housing cost. The duration will help you understand each factor of a survival reserve. This is d equals 1. So basically, calculation, d equals 1. This is the first derivative. So if I have like £10, £10 to go to oyster, I'm gonna try to work that out here because £10 oyster, 5 B Canning Town, A Ilford, £5, 5 plus 5 equals 10. These are two variables x and s, but the dx changing the 5 is £5 to and fro. But this is called a Cartesian system. But it's coordinate system. It's called a Hamiltonian graph. Hamiltonian means Euler means edge. E for edge. H for Q. Euler cycle. But you can use a Euler DAG or Hamiltonian DAG to solve this problem. Survival cost. But derivatives have a because if I get £10 to pay for the oyster, then minus £1, I get £4, and I get £4, and I get £5. I then get £1 somewhere else, then I get £5 to come back. But then that means I owe someone £1. If I get £1, I owe someone £1. But this one is really important to solve this problem, because that person gets £1 back, or you'll be owing £1 for everywhere you go. Scalar multiple. Single. The biological model has how to so this is scalars. So this is a scalar system. The biological has a single house. Work equal housing cost, food, energy. 15. This is just a social. It's not negative mass. 1. This is the first derivative. The second derivative. But the derivatives are like based on rise or run. So if the rise and k and inverse k principles, so if the first derivative is change, 2 is change of the change, that's curvature over time. 3 is mm, mm, 3 is manual verification. You can use that to scale is just numbers, units, of the minimum one to just get by. Just get back. Scale is scalar proof. Scalar to vector tensor. Scalar model, individual scalar to house vector, community matrix, and biome tensor. So this is just a model. The biome, this is by everyone's ecosystem biome, and social transformation, maintaining biological integrity and economic stability. But the individual is a scalar to housing a vector. I pay for my house. I don't pay for I have a room. Community is a matrix. The community is a matrix, like the shared interest group, and the biome is a tensor to the matrix, because it's a subset of the matrix, of the tensor, but it's a tensor because it's a 4D biological economy, like a park service. But my local community is the matrix. I can work with my local community. I can express my biome, but I don't have to go to external biomes to interact with the tensor, because that's external biome. Okay, thank you. Integration and stability of maintaining biological integration. 4 vector models. Okay, let's see. Vector models. House leader. The household economics model includes multi earners. So individuals, food, water, surpass. This model takes biological stress points. So basically, shared housing. with income 523, but are you people 321 and surplus things that we don't really consider. So basically, the shared housing household is a vector. If you have a big house, you have shared interest to share resources. Two, income is usually among the each earner, ensuring that the income's survival reserve maintains economic stability. So that's why the vectors are really important because they work together to solve the one problem. Everyone's to pay for whatever they use anyway. Sorry, share housing costs, individual burden. The house maintains affordability and does not deplete its survival reserves. The surplus of components under stress allow intervention to maintain biological economic health. Uh, Basically, it's like it's like a confusion matrix. I think of an AI because you try to confuse the AI to do something, but it takes into account. That's what I mean by surplus effect. Maybe this person is working not working hard enough. Maybe this person needs adjustments. But can until they do it, because that's a stress, like a stress matrix, a confusion matrix that you put into AI to solve the problem. But you give it confusion to solve the problem. It's kind of weird, but confuse the model to make it get better. We train it based on what it's trying to observe. It's like throwing something you should know on it, but you don't tell what it is. uh, Shared housing cost, but this I'm saying housing house leave. Community element communities build multiple houses, verify our food and share them. Okay, so basically, I got this here. I don't want to talk too much screen. Now, the matrix model is there, but I'm saying the OTS framework is there for at the matrix level because the community integration is the matrix level, but it's not really about the matrix. I can build my own community too. I can venture out to build my own constitution on my own biome. So we got x equals 0, y equals 1. But this is just there's no derivative system. 2x plus 3 equals y. When x is 0, y is 3. When x is 1, y is 5. And when x is 2, y is 7, based on 2x plus 3. This is called a sequence because it doesn't alternate. Because series can be resolved to a diagonalization because of ODTS function. But most essentially, we've got a series. We can use a series to do the same because series is a sequence. But the only exception to the rule is a fixed sequence series can alternate, and a sequence cannot. The Fibonacci sequence. It's not an alternate series. But the minus one, minus 1/2, comma 1/2, minus 1/4 equal minus 1/4, and minus 1/8. The alternate and the values. The goal is to have your framework strong enough with a direction shocking graph to resolve any money that's been taken away or anything been incremented, so you can compute how to fix it without economic collapse. In the economic model, economic rebalancer based on, you can rebalance the money and the shares based on survival heuristics. I got it here somewhere. But I think I put it here somewhere. Yes, I did put it here. No, I did not. Yes, this is not it. Oh, yes, this is it. An example of the model. Oh, you guys can see it. You cannot see it. Let me just see what I can. You can see. Can I pause this? Uh, so basically, you can't see what I have here. Oh, you can't see it. So basically, you see this here? You see this here? Oh, let me put my face here because I can't see it here. So basically, see this here? This is called a photo remote system, a hybrid topology. But the X here, you see the X here, you can switch, can either be doing one job or doing another job based on whatever the job meant to do, the priority of the role task. You can switch it because the hybrid model, they can either flow money, it's like an on-off switch, they want to flow money in the right direction, or they can turn off a node because it's centralized, decentralized. They don't really turn off, they keep it on for life, but the node is centralized, it turns off, but it doesn't turn off, it switches row, it becomes an X and an O, it's because the nodes are cross. But it's about sustaining the flow of money based on a peer-to-peer or bus topology, ring topology, because it's a network association who pays, who doesn't pay. But there's some nodes that are reserved for centralized, for collapse mitigation, for centralized only. Draft priority, the growth priority queue or priority to do some talks. But the flow of money is for people to have more sustainability in the goal. Um, Tenza model. The biome economics tends to span multiple integration, community sharing, education, long-term progress. It turns out the resources are what's coming to resource sharing. Basically, the Tenza model is the biological system with the park, the food, the water, the experience of the world around you, the progress of targeting. The long-term progression aligns with the this one because stability of the support system. The goal is to support these type of people, new type of people that have potential, people that want to work and not be stressed. The goal is to have a biological. I can walk in a park, and I can finish in time. But if I finish in time and then have all the fun I want, and then come to work, and I feel like I'm not working. That's just an example I'm giving because I'm not stressed already. So I do some work, I come back to go to the park, then I get bored of the park because I had a lot of fun and get back to work because I don't see a need to play so long or interact in a public because there's no point of me standing a period of time, especially when it starts raining. Weather can be unpredictable. When it starts raining, because it has the same way. So basically, you have the same way. I can read a book everything, and then understand everything, and then I get stressed, and then the term for it. It's a very bad term for it. Okay, I go back. Graph model. This is like recurring Hamilton graph cycles based on active system, consumer observable pattern of state of shares and stock. So what's gonna happen now is graph model in real time. Biological pricing model. Is there anything I forgot here? Yes. Vector model. James. New divergence, trace difference, transit, police, no, sector. Basically, the ecology of the sector is basically the biome sustainability, but it doesn't start with the community itself. Can the community sustain itself? Can everybody work together before we get to the price and working with external sector models? But to solve our problems, the budget price that showed the housing cost not exceeding the annual cost, preserving external the ODTS provide the budget price and show the housing affordable and need to survive reserves all community members. So basically, the biology price is like the park. I can live in a park, yes, but I have no park rules. For one day. Stop bothering me. That's a fly. So the biofuel pricing, the ODC from tracks the state of the new biome, the new economology, the tension matrix. If you have a new kind of a park infrastructure and people don't live in parks, they will not sustain themselves because they don't want to live in parks, or people that are not really interested to live in parks are forced to come there because there's no other places to come. But because they make problems, see the immigrants. But it's not about immigration; it's about sustainability. What can you do in this of biome that you come to? There's no point of being in the wrong biome if you're not going to be able to do something with the biome, a farm, cook, survive at a rural area, rural, not urban. Urban is not rural, like rural is not urban, the housing price again. So basically, this reminds me of my error exception panic model. Again, we have if the thing doesn't resolve, we can think of this like this: low or low to medium, medium to high, medium to low, low to medium, low to medium, medium to medium to high, high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 error propagation. But then we can get 6 to 11 system recovery, low recovery. But if the system panics at 11 we can have that 11 is it goes to panic here. This is since the system can't that unit cannot resolve itself, or that scalar, that vector cannot resolve itself. Wherever the system is at the state 6 to 11, 6 low to high what panic safety critical recovery, fail safe recovery, fault tolerance, error tolerance, money tolerance. But it's more better for economics. It's not just like and then 12 to 18. For every model that every program you write, every C, 12 to 18 is fail safe. The system tries to kill itself. But you can swap out the fail safe because it's panic. It can't even recover. It's just panic. 12 to 18, low to high fail safe. But that's what the housing price market is. No one leaves the house anyway. Directed cycling model. Economic flow is DAG. Directed have got to show no debt trap, circular dependency, or maintain economic causality. what's the problem here? The causality of money, because this is like a bit of rhetoric reasoning. If I, so I can have, if I'm autistic, I can say if I try to do A, I can get more money to get B. If I hustle to do A, my rationale is in the rhetoric that people are doing A, it makes me money, streaming content creation, and should give me more money. I should be to lead them, man. That's my causality claim. And the cause of me doing that is because I'm making more money to do ABC. And I enjoy doing ABC because it's fulfilled. I'm prosperous. I'm doing content creation, I'm making games. I'm having fun with my life. A cyclical properties of a DAP is own depth trap, ensuring that comments does not lead to and does not result in each edge of the glass console. The current DAC model, group floors, housing food plus, directly glass, ensure non-negative survivability. You don't need it. Non-negative, you don't want to lose any food for one day. Okay. Constitution integration, very important. So we've got a graph model, the DAG model, the Hamilton cycle model, based on what the sector is, what the job is, what the role is, and the error propagation models. Okay, now the 60, because you say the Oyster card fails everything, and there's new fixes. In the old system, if it's broken, there's you get fined, you get to jail, you become a criminal. In this new system, it fixes itself. You get new services, new opportunities, new systems, integration, new components, new way of doing stuff, new equipment to help someone navigate like a wheelchair, like something to climb a. You don't have to walk up an escalator. You can get someone that's disabled to sit on an escalator system, and the wheelchair will connect to that, and move that wheelchair to that person. There's no need to get that person, drag the person up the escalator in a tube station, which is scary for that person, believe it or not. But that's constitutional integration, the change of constitutional integration. Constitution, you work the constitutional new services instead of new resilience. People that have grudges, people that don't want to do job, people don't want to leave constitution, people want to lose their job, who are getting angry, agitated, emails, threats of bureaucracy, things that shouldn't be happening in the workplace. Because you want to work there, not get it to argue. Okay. EU constitutional regulation. The traditional Igbo governance. The EU constitution provides local so biological imperatives. It's basically biology, so what's going on with that ensure protocols and ensure basically the protocols be login. Everything's a protocol in particular be login. Unless than one or less than if it's n, it cannot be n squared because the thing that's actually sending a message. So example, I send an email to someone over a protocol and it's not getting intercepted. It's fragmented protocol, and the log n system logs n. It's half of n. It's half, and the system then and it's not basically my message is just n, and my message is log n in n squared or n factor or like more than n. Then to the power of n. Then the problem is that the protocol basically if my message is 2n, my protocol starts off at 2n, and my O of 2n, 2 to the factorial n to the power of n, and my message is n to start up. Then the n over 2n of a protocol will not make sense because it's fragmented and you never send that message because the protocol is not standing up and no one can intercept it because the protocol is not a necessary connection because just fragmented and broken because you get a new order choice, a new system to recover that. ODTS, one public assembly, or how this community, or how public assembly enables community to decision make. The comments are aligned with community needs biology provides. So basically, it just means that the public assembly community showed the community policies are aligned. These systems were not perfect, but the new work to the humans that are meant to do it, the people that are meant to do the job. The is verification. You can hear of this already, but the verification means the biology needs new decision making, such as sorry, not sorry. Hashtag sorry, not sorry. I'm not sorry for your work. I'm sorry for my work. I'm not sorry. I'm sorry for my work, but I'm not sorry for what your work. It's like if you have a pipeline system, I push a code to my code, and my code breaks. That person's code break, and that person complains about my code. So this person said to me, "Oh, hashtag sorry, not sorry. What's the reason? Close. Sorry, not sorry. Close. Act ABC. Your work did ABC, but it did not follow advice ABC. Go back and do ABC." And then you say, "Oh, that makes sense," and you put it back, and you get one public assembly, or you can get the human advocacy compliance cycle, or beginners who are constitution, hack. I call it hack because it's like human advocate. You advocate for any human, you comply, and the cycle continues. The kind of cycle of life to work continues. I go on other policies too. What's other policy? Dark psychology mitigation policy. Also close, but it's more of a close because you don't put dark psychology. Don't make people annoyed with my work. Make an inquiry. Make an inquiry. Inquiry. Not the same thing because they're internal, external. Those is moderation. By integrating traditional governance with the model of education, because it's in the broader economic system, and biological health, because community prosperity, we're happy, we're doing stuff, we're integrating, we have no problem here. We work smoothly, we just do our job. Most importantly, we're happy and we're fulfilled. Biological councils, ring zone. Biological councils implement ring zone topology 2.5 mile radius, self-sustaining units enabling local governance across zone resource sharing. So if you work at 2.5 mile, you can work there. That's 45 minutes walk to another zone. But there's a breathing room. But the councils have a court next to them. Because when the councils have a court next to them, it's just to sort them out. You don't have to go to external third bodies to sort your problems out. If the council has a court, there's no system to start a court because this court is the court has the final say of the problem. And you go to court, you go to the council. You don't go to two different places at once. You go to where you gotta go. What is your inner zone flaws is to maintain integrity that support our community members. Ring is zone topology. The ring and the zone is the area. The ring is the ring you're in, and the zone is the zone you're working in. When you cross a zone, when you don't, when you can't cross a ring directly. You can cross it. You can't cross a zone because that's the work around. You can cross a ring because that's the breathing room to cross the other side. But you can go ring life work breath. But there's less work here basically. This is no work here because the zone dot life dot work the breath or that breath dot life dot work is the organization instruction. So you can have like a bidirectional mapping between the two. So I'm saying again, let me put it again. So you got a mapping of the ring dot life, ring dot breath, ring dot life and ring dot work, and and then zone dot life, zone dot breath, zone dot life, zone dot life, zone dot breath, zone dot work. You know, um, Based on that, that's how it works. Because you breathe, live, work, ring, live, work, ring, and that's how it works. ODTS is integration, and then we'll go 10-year education, 10-year educational progress formation of relationships models as a direct extractive graph ensures prosperity. The education guides prepare as node comments with directed graphs for promotion impact. Education integration, but people gonna live there. One plus two is 1 plus 1 is two. 2 plus 2 times 2 is 4. But that's a 4-year milestone. If you're doing a master's only, you can stay there for 4 years in the constitution. But if you're doing a PhD, just get you can get 3 years. 2 to 2 times 2 is 6. You can stay there for 6 years. Every contract renew 369. 6 years, 5 years a PhD, and then we can get the 1 year extra to breathe. And then times 6 times 6 times oh 6 plus 6 plus 3 is 9. So it goes up in twos. Oh, is it? Wait, sorry. 1, 2, 3. Because you count in ones. 3 years max. 2, 3. Because you get 3 years only for bachelor minimum. 1, 2, 3. 3 plus 3 is 6 years. Renewal 6 years. Renewal 3 years. And plus 3 9 years. And then you get 5 years PhD. 5 years housing. Plus final 5 10 years housing research, and then plus 10 years 5 is 15 years maximum, never 20 years, sorry, not 20 years. 10 years educational progress, 5 10 15 because you add education increase. You live there, you work there, you survive there. You don't have a problem because children gonna be happy there because they don't really have a problem with the fragmented ecosystem. They just know where to go, especially the children. If the children knows where to go, they really have no problem. Such as educating it, and they live by constitution for life. Implementation captures practice school. Basically your initiatives. So basically health demonstration. My one, but you. This shows that housing, your survival, demonstrate healthy, demonstrate coherence. Now, career measurement based on ORS on the 5.4, you can already get restrict transit card. You can travel on Uber card, wherever you want. Just for 5 minutes walk, you can travel there with a bus or a bus. You can just travel there. Just know where the constitution is. It looks nice. You know where you're going. The design is there. You can figure the accessibility signs. You know the roads. You walk back to your house. You live happily. That's what you get. Survival reserves. The biological status is healthy, and the system correlates over compliance. Yeah, you should see. You should state. And then you get economic stack. An economic shock reduces black income while housing meets 10. Survival and stress. Biological of stress. And then ODTS detection. So basically, it's a stress scenario. So, environment is also negative. Minus 3. ODTS evaluation triggers emergency protocol, restore biological compliance, and preserve scala. Emergency response protocol reduce housing cost and emergency protective survival revenue. The error budget which is like 1 to 5, 6 to 11, and 12 to 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 12 to 17. Fail safe mode. And then biological economic protocol. Community support act temporary housing costs part of emergency. Basically, in emergencies, with new people, we should give them temporary housing. But the temporary housing protocol restores the biological compliance, and they work there. But it's just an emergency response. For people that we actually want there. But this is still a work in progress because we're gonna have many emergency facilities there. Um, ODTS verifies the curricular progress show the emergency protocols are positive for maintaining biological and economic integration. The goal of this constitution is very important for me because the goal of this most probably the most vulnerable people in society that actually want to do something. Like myself, I know it's time with bureaucracy, but just a roadmap to it. And then we got long-term stability, biological mature timeline. The biological maturity time includes stages of regeneration, which each stage stability perspective. Year one to three, and then year 1 to 6 growth, and year 6 to 10 maturity. But this is like the foundation of hostile focus survival. Basically, just like a house still biological, but the goal is hostile because the house is a hostile, the same thing exactly, but they don't frame it as the same thing because someone else is fragmented the system. The growth of sustaining economic equity development show transparency because equality is not equity because everyone's put on the same stool as equality, but equity is putting the right, giving people the right assistance, the right support. That's equity. Equity is of removing the barriers that all of us have, neurodivergent or not, or dyslexic or not, or like broken mentally or not, to have the multiple chance of doing something much you want to do. Working the majority still achieves full to the audience 6 to 10. But you can think of this for people's ages 1 to 3, 3 to 6, and 6 to 10 years. You can get house for 5 years. 6 to 10 years is if you are, say, I have a child, is 10 years old. I particularly don't, but the child is 10 years old, they can be at full maturity then because they understand the system. Because they understand enough about the system, to work it out. 9, 10, because I treat my child, I just working. It doesn't work about money, it doesn't really talk about them. Derivative audience economy does not lead to undefined state. Bound competition, and then the three cross-partial assistance consistency, like multivariable calculus, things that we don't know, we check for unknowns over systems that we meant to know, based on direct organization and system, and then get you the derivative formation to solve that problem over series and sequence Hamiltonian inverse accusation paths. Implementation morals focus on individual DAG model. Urges for single house and laying a conventional community scale implementation. Single house compliance. The single household compliance is just one person's house. But I don't want everybody to have one person's house. If it's just about one person, then it's just like me. So there are more focus on families. But I can have two or more people. Because there's a housing crisis in the UK right now, and two people can live in a house. to have a business there, and they can run a business in their house, but it's the one person can sustain themselves in the house. But you know, the way you live at the top, basically everyone's house is the rooms at the top. The top floor, two-story building, top floor, the bottom floor will work. So you need a bigger house to sustain each other. But you know, that's the main part. You know, you have a building that's two stories tall, top, bottom floor, and top floor. But if you want them to span out, like a lab, you can work to the working with them. You can have it like a work, live where you work if you want to do that. Which I'm pushing forward into, so you can live exactly where you want to work. You know, like if you wanted to, if you just two families with a small business, instead of a shop there, that shop is their house. And then they have two for the flat, and this yep. But you know, for one person, they need just a toilet, everything, and they serve a structure that's cohesive work and not fragmented. Especially on the worst case scenario for complex scale implementations. Uh, Growing the business basically. Conclusion: Igbo wisdom. Igbo. Basically, the Igbo wisdom provides a cultural pattern and support of biological knowledge, ensuring the economic systems are grounded in traditional knowledge and mathematical verification. Which is just my level of knowledge of economics, from philosophy. The W with the width of the system, like you know, the span of the system. You can have an X and the width of the X because it's the span, but you can have a width of the. But you should think of the. You just think of the W stuff for the tensor interpretation. Additional layer of the biome ecology, but you know, ecosystem. But the width, W stands for the width. It's like a, if you know what a tensor, like a quaternion is, a quaternion restriction system. That's what's modeled after. But this is based on the gating philosophy, the section 2. So the XY represent the problem reduction. X was one problem, and you solve that problem in Y, and it's still a Z. But don't ask them what problem. Now this problem is the worst of the worst because it's an ecosystem, and you can get this problem, which is this problem. This problem is on, because you know this X gate, Y gate, Z gate, and W gate. The tensor model of the matrix, and that system will rotate itself to this one, all begin the breakthroughs, and the system will resolve itself in correct support system, common system. But this is the mathematical version of Igbo wisdom. 7 plus 7 level structure. 7 plus 7 shows economics activity level with biological practice, supporting long-term stability and prosperity, and build your own biological biome. Sustainable. One system cells. Build your own biome. Encourages communities. I'm going to encourage you guys. Yes. Build your own biological economic integration. Build your future, build what you want. The time is now. You know, whether you have £1, £2, start with a minimum variable, start with a sketch, start with a prototype, and do what you want. Don't get confused or anything. Summary: the biological economic solution. Biology precedes economics. Yes. The biological survival supports human survival and prosperity. First, you first, human first, life first, work next. Survival reserves maintain. Unless someone can prove that to me. You know, maintain a non-negative survival economy structures. Cultural grounded implementation. Improve something that sustains you. The butterflies on the battlefield. You know, working day and hard night to verify yourself. You know, and then next summary. Call to action. Join the revolution. Join. Try and enlist yourself. Try a computer program that demands your finances. You know, write it in C, Python. Follow github.com/open build your own DAG function that solves heightens. Try this violation sustainable housing. Try and make a program that pays for your house. Try a Bitcoin system in Rust that does this. I don't really care. Just open access is ready. Rotation, you know, via, you know, then build systems for life sustainability, and to human, ensure long-term prosperity and biology health. Guys, you know, then put it on the internet. You know, try to do it yourself. Open build systems for life, for your life, for the life of you, for the life of you. And then foundational resources, key resources. Organizations bring the directors circular graph. Resources and references. For this, you can go to GitHub for resources and references. Live demonstration. Oh, okay. Any questions? Okay, basically, this is a Q&A section, but I'll try to go into it anyway. The live demonstration includes ODTS reference that will release in service live tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you guys for watching this. Thank you. Okay, guys, I hope you guys have a lovely day. But you know, the goal is for this to be sustainable by itself. You don't need any external bodies, any external buyings. Giving you money, like countries doing this nonsense of money laundering to serve that keep that bankrupt £700,000 loss, lawsuits, and wasting people's time and money and effort. But that's why the biological ergonomics repository matters too. It's about biological economics because you don't want a thorough council to be because to me thorough council is just keep exploiting the finances of the system. It's really a slum. It's a slum, yes, in my view, because it's ergonomically it has not evolved. It actually devolved traditional white people, but you know they have the money to sustain themselves. Only people that don't want to do anything more. Therefore, that's why I'm saying to you guys, the system is broken. It's not fragile. It's just broken. It doesn't bend. It just reshapes anyhow they want it to. Because they have money, they've cut the balloon. The thread of the balloon is cut. Basically, they got a basket, and we are the poor people wear the baskets, but the rich people have the balloons. So basically, they go higher and higher, but the thread has been cut, and we are falling down. We're getting poorer, and because you know there used to be some kind of more. Once we get big rich, the more we get richer. The rich get richer, the poor get richer too. But now the rich get richer, the poor get poorer, and that's what's happening to us. It's a cycle of oppression and depression. Okay, let's go. So I'm gonna stop this now. Have a lovely day. Go to my YouTube channel, find my social media, my TikTok, everything, and then go to my GitHub link, and some of my GitHub pages. Go on OBNexus Repository, github.com/OBINexus, and find my GitHub repository, and I find that there. And you should be able to find the ODTS framework and everything there.